Thank you and good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to our Tuesday, December the 9th council meeting, and we have some special guests who we're going to get to in a few minutes. Madam Clerk, could you conduct roll call, please?
Revimo.
Present.
Councillor Legree.
Present.
Councillor McWhorter.
Present.
Councillor McDonald.
Present.
Councillor Cebulski.
Present.
Revimo, we do have quorum.
Thank you. As we gather, we would like to acknowledge on behalf of Council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we're extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Please stand for O Canada. Members of Council, are there any declarations of interest? Seeing none. And public meetings, delegations, presentations, and announcements. So we're moving to C3.1, which is presentations. Before we begin tonight's council meeting, it is my pleasure to welcome some very special guests. The recent award recipients from the Renfrew Area Chamber of Commerce Awards. These awards celebrate excellence, dedication, and the spirit of community that makes Renfrew and our surrounding community such an exceptional place to live and do business. Tonight, we have the honor of recognizing each of you with the congratulatory certificate from the town of Renfrew. Your achievements not only reflect your hard work and passion, but they also strengthen our community and inspire others. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for being here tonight. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge this year's award winners with a certificate, and if they could come up when we call your name, and we'll present you with the certificate, and then we'll take a picture. First of all, the Dunbar family, if they're here. And next we have Rachel Yeomans of Bloom and Beauty. Oh, she's not here tonight? Okay, thank you. Kaylee Shaw, Dentistry at Renfrew. And this is the Employee of the Year Award.
front.
Thank you very much.
Proper Pet Treats, Breakout Business of the Year. Nope, okay. And then we have Renfrew and District Food Bank. Okay. And Renfrew, Ottawa West, KOA Journey.
Read KOA? Yes, come on up.
Come on.
Please come up.
It's Business of the Year Award. Just come right up here, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to dodging trees and I'm Thank you so much. Thank you. Sure.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Excellent.
I just wanted to say this is wonderful. We bought the park in '99, and at that point it was on the verge of actually losing its franchise. So in 25 years, here we are, and a lot of work. But my office manager and my equipment manager and my oldest son, who is my tech manager, and my oldest daughter, that is my insurance manager. I had to have something to prove that Mom's still doing okay. So thank you very, very much. And maybe you'll all come and see the park this summer.
So, Emily Carty of the Renfrew Golf Club, Youth Employee of the Year? No. Okay. Tom Barr, Barr Sand and Gravel? Okay. And that was the Lifetime Achievement Award. And then Calabogie Motorsports Park, the Hospitality Award. Thank you. Did we miss anybody? Nope, okay. Just in case there's some of them stuck together. Thank you very much, everyone. It's a real pleasure to have you here this evening. As we said in the remarks, and those remarks are not just mine, they're council's as well. They speak quite glowingly of everybody that makes this a community on a regular basis. And whenever we're out in the larger community, they're always offering shout-outs about all of you and what you contribute as well as your products. So thank you very much.
All businesses are very important to the culture, but very important to the heartbeat of the community. And the fact that you're recognizing that is really, really appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nobody wants to stay.
I've been meetings all summer. I've got 2 words to go in this time of year. Thank you.
I have a motion, Council, that Renfrew Town Council convene as committee of the whole to consider reports for recommendation to Council. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Legree, seconded by Councillor McWhirter. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you. And we'll move first to E2.1, which is Mr. Withers.
Thank you. Through you, Reeve. So this is with respect to Bill 60, the province's most recent, you call it omnibus.
So my apologies. That Committee of the Whole received the Bill 60 Fighting Delays Building Faster Act 2025 overview and comments report as information. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Legree, second by Councillor McWhirter. Now, Mr. Withers.
Thank you, Reeve. So this is a recent piece of provincial legislation. Actually has been given third reading and royal assent, so we did provide our comments, and as has been the practice, the province has been quite swift to actually enact the legislation. For what it's worth, we did provide some comments on the actual proposed legislation in Appendix B to this report, technical comment letter. We did receive a notification letter from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing dated November 12th of this year. A few notes regarding the changes enacted through Bill 60. Bill 60 is a very large piece of legislation. It does not just touch municipal affairs. It touches a range of subject matter related to the economy and the province's stated goal of supporting the economy and building homes. In that theme, we have things like as of right minor variances, providing additional flexibility and setbacks within a prescribed percent of zoning. So moving forward, there will not be a requirement for filing a minor variance application if it is a pretty small minor variance within a percentage, say like 10% of a required setback. There's a proposal for regulating minimum lot areas across the province in the sense that we can't establish a larger minimum lot size than the province prescribes, and this is to try to provide some uniformity and some ability to do smaller lots. Presumably, there's some interest in green building standards where those exist. We do not have them. The province is interested in alleviating the development process from kind of additional, I say like non-safety related standards. Anything that doesn't fall within the realm of public safety or significant and clear and present danger to the environment. The province is continuing with that theme of peeling that stuff back. Simplifying and standardizing official plans. There might be something to come on that. There wasn't anything through Bill 60 that actually implemented that, but they telegraphed that may be coming. Probably one of the headline amendments through this was the enabling legislation that permits the creation of water and wastewater public corporations, and actually creating the first such corporation in Peel region, which affects Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon. And this is the idea of creating an arm's length corporation for the purposes of managing municipal water and wastewater infrastructure and services. So that would include, presumably, the asset management component, asset ownership. In fact, there is a requirement to transfer the assets, and then of course the operation and the service delivery. So that is something that the province is exploring. Building code review, various Development Charges Act amendments. So really a suite of various initiatives designed to try to expedite construction across the province. Thank you.
Questions? Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor Legree.
Through you, Reeve, just a question. Are we missing Appendix B, or am I mixed up? I just don't see it on my side when I looked through it earlier, a couple of days ago.
Through you, Reeve. No, you're quite right. It's not there. Okay. So I'll circulate those via email. Really, Appendix A was the letter that we got from the minister, and it describes the what's proposed, and then Appendix B being our response. Yeah. It's publicly available. It's on the ERO. We'll certainly circulate that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? None is carried. Thank you very much. And next is that the Committee of the Whole receive the new development and dwelling unit totals report as information. Mover, please. Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor Cebulski. And Mr. Withers, please.
Thank you. Through you, Revimo. So this is a report with respect to development activity within the town of Renfrew over the course of the past year. Council will note that since we're going to say the COVID bump or the COVID boom, there has been a bit of recoil with respect to development activity. I will say that this is not unique to Renfrew or happening only in Renfrew. This is happening across the province and across the country, really. You could see it as just a bit of a global reset of financial conditions, tighter financial conditions, more difficult economic circumstances that's really kind of coalescing to create a more challenging investment environment, and that certainly impacts home building and any type of land development. So we are certainly seeing that. Probably, I'm going to say for the last couple of years, at least, it has been actually since 2023, and again a challenging year this year. We of course are hopeful that as financial conditions loosen, as the province continues to try to stimulate the home building industry and the land development and in the economy through various legislative measures, that we will start to see some additional movement in land development and the development of housing. Of course, we are looking at different measures and to do that in 2026 through the CIP review, through the process of disposing of surplus land assets and different initiatives that Council is undertaking in order to encourage home building and encourage development in the town of Renfrew. So we are certainly hopeful to see this pick up in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you. And next we will move to that Committee of the Whole recommends that Renfrew Town Council approve the updated fence bylaw and the staff be directed to bring forward the appropriate bylaw for adoption. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor McDonald, second Councillor Legree, and Mr. Withers, please.
Thank you. Through you, Revimo, we're pleased to bring this before Council. This is really a cleanup of 3 separate fence bylaws that we have in place. They initially enacted in 1979 with amendments in 1982 and 2018, so long overdue for a look and a cleanup. So this will, if Council proceeds with it, this will provide us with one single bylaw. We currently have to cross-reference the 3 in order to determine exactly the circumstances that will apply to a particular fencing proposal. I like to think that the language that we use in this particular draft is a bit more readable, a bit easier to implement. And we're certainly at the staff level looking forward to using it at the pleasure of Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor McDonald, please.
Thank you, Reeve. Through you, maybe to the acting CEO. With regard to 7.6 and 7.7, we talk about a maximum fine of no more than $5,000 a day. Total of all daily fines imposed for the continuing offence may exceed $100,000. And 7.7 goes on to say the same thing in terms of may exceed. What are we trying to capture here? And it seems heavy-handed in terms of finances, but what are we hoping to? What objective are we trying to achieve, I guess?
Yeah, thank you. And I'll look to the director for some support here. These are maximums. I think in our experience, the courts have typically been quite a bit more lenient in terms of what they actually impose as a penalty. But this, in the event of an egregious contravention of the bylaw, that is quite significant and problematic, that this provides the courts with some flexibility to impose higher penalties. But my understanding is that that the penalties that they actually impose are quite significantly less than that.
Okay. Director, do you have anything you want to add?
Sure. Thank you, and through you, Acting Mayor. Typically, we do see these large amounts, but it's very rarely handed down from the court system. This is for for lack of better terms, troublesome cases where these individuals refuse to comply with bylaw. And in fact, you do see these larger numbers. If we reference the Fire Protection and Prevention Act, these are kind of the worst case scenario, but they have to be in there to ensure that we can at least obtain compliance. But these would be handed down by the courts and not necessarily by the corporation.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none. Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor McDonald.
Thank you. And read through you. Do we have any information how this coincides in terms of best practices with other bylaws regarding fences? It just seems extremely high, but again, comments, I guess.
Director? Oh, okay. CAO, please.
Yeah, thank you. Through you, Reeve. I can say that we did have this review supported by the town solicitors. So they added most of the language in the enforcement section. So I would have some confidence in it on that basis. This wasn't something that we just came up with. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? All those in favor? Opposed? None is carried. Thank you, Council. And next we'll move that the Committee of the Whole recommends that Renfrew Town Council approve the Renfrew Hydro, Renfrew Power Generation, and Town of Renfrew Wastewater Treatment Plant land transfers, and authorize staff to execute all documentation and actions required to give effect to the transfers, and further that any required bylaw be brought forward to Council for adoption. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor McDonald, second Councillor McWhirter, and Mr. Withers, please.
Thank you. Through you, Reeve. So this is a cleanup of a long-standing file required in order to kind of realign property boundaries, give easements where they're needed for underground hydro infrastructure and for access purposes. Really just a kind of a tri-party land titles cleanup, if you will. So there's really two parts to this matter. The first being on reference plan 21043. It looks like the appendix is in fact there in this case, and that one being for the purposes of transfers between power generation, hydro, and the town to establish accurate property ownership for the two substations on Mutual Avenue for Renfrew Hydro and power generation. And we do have sewer easement running through there as well, so that's being picked up. And I'm assured by the lawyers that everything has been accounted for here. The title documents are longer than I'm really intelligent enough to get through and understand, if I'm being totally honest. And we pay them good money to have a good handle on that. So they have been through them with a fine-tooth comb. The second matter being Appendix C, land transfers from RPG to the town of Renfrew for the portion of their land that are new, call it new, the newer wastewater treatment plant is located on. So the surveyors have delineated the area of the new plant, along with parking and access and appurtenances, and shown that on the plan, and those parts are being transferred to the town of Renfrew, and along with that we are providing them with an access easement to get to the peninsulas that they need to get to, just for some interest that they have there in regards to significant tree species. So a bit of a complex matter, but a bit of a legacy matter, but this has been something that we've been working with Renfrew Power Generation on for some time, and it'd be good to have this put to rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments, questions, concerns, members of council? Councillor Sobalski.
Thank you. Through you, Reeve, and a question, I suppose, to the CAO. Can you just give us a ballpark date for everyone's information when the new wastewater plant was completed, and how long this has been for us to kind of get it tidied up? It's been a little bit of time.
I'll let the manager answer that. I have a feeling she has a better handle on that
Manager
date.
Springer.
Through you, Reeve, I believe it was 2009 when the new plant was built.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? None, it's carried. Thank you, Council. And next, that Committee of the Whole recommends that Renfrew Town Council enter into an agreement of principle with Miller Waste Systems for the curbside collection of non-eligible source recycling collection, and that staff be directed to bring forward the final agreement of bylaw to Council for adoption. And further, the Council provide direction on non-eligible recycling depot at the landfill, at the Renfrew landfill. Mover, please. Councillor McDonald, second Councillor Cebulski, and Manager Springer, please.
Thank you, through you, Reeve. So we have discussed this topic a few times this year, but as a refresher, due to provincial regulation, recycling in the province has been transitioning to a new model that is managed by producers through Circular Materials Ontario, also known as CMO. This new model will come into full effect on January 1st, 2026, and will not service what are called non-eligible sources, which are businesses and community organizations. Back in June, Council directed staff to work with other municipalities and Miller Waste, who is the contractor that will be collecting recycling in Renfrew County for circular materials in 2026. However, around the same time, the province had proposed amendments to the Blue Box regulation that would have permitted small business recycling within the CMO program. At that time, staff shifted focus to lobbying for these amendments, including supporting Council with their delegation in AMO. Unfortunately, on October 1st, the municipality was notified that the inclusion of curbside recycling for small businesses would not be included in the CMO program. And at that time, local municipalities re-engaged with each other and with Miller to develop a separate curbside recycling collection program for non-eligible sources. Miller has indicated that they are able to provide the service, however, with some changes to what is currently provided. These changes include, firstly, that the weekly cardboard collection in the downtown core will no longer occur, and two, that recycling collection would occur on a single day, regardless of the business's garbage collection day. We've not set in stone what day of week that would be, but once all the municipalities agree, we will release that to businesses. So the agreement is for a 15-month term to March 31st, 2027. With potential extensions, and the cost is $675 per stop per week, plus material processing fees, which are currently estimated at about $3,000 a year, but subject to change by the processor, and HST on top of that. The cost is based on all partnering municipalities agreeing to service and contract terms, which all have indicated that they are interested, but need final approvals from their councils. All municipalities should have council approval by December 18th. In preparing the 2026 budget, the cost for the service was underestimated by $16,000. Therefore, in order to proceed, the 2026 operating budget will need to be increased. So the options for the town in regards to the curbside recycling program are to enter into an agreement with Miller Waste for an estimated cost of $106,000 a year, which will require an additional $16,000 in the operating budget. This is staff's recommendation in order to foster waste diversion efforts and to reduce litter. The second option is to negotiate the agreement. This is not recommended as it will affect our neighboring municipalities and results in delays and disrupt service. The third option is to not enter into an agreement with Miller, which will lead to increased landfill waste and litter. The second part of this report is the recycling depot at the landfill. Council has provided delegated authority to staff to proceed with a residential-only recycling depot at the landfill, which will be fully funded by CMO. For non-eligible sources, staff are recommending either a segregated depot at an estimated cost of $29,000 a year, or the elimination of the recycling depot for businesses and community organizations, which would be a reduction of service. So the options for the town in regards to the non-eligible source depot are, first, to enter into an agreement with Miller Waste Systems for the rental of bins and hauling of recyclable material for an estimated amount of $29,000 a year, which will require an increase in the 2026 operating budget or other financing. Second option is to find an alternative service provider, which may yield slightly better pricing. However, there may be a couple months where recycling depot would not be available to businesses while staff investigate these alternative providers. And the third option is to eliminate the depot for non-eligible users. This would be a reduction in level of service. However, provided that curbside recycling collection continues, the depot would be considered a convenience, and it is unlikely that the lack of a non-eligible recycling depot at the landfill would result in significant increase in landfill waste or litter.
Okay, thank you. Questions from members of council? Okay. Councillor Zabolski?
Thank you. Through you, Reeve. It's clear, I understand it, just making sure it's spot on. So I understand 106,000, which is 16,000 more than estimated for the curbside pickup, but the additional bin of 29,000, that wasn't captured at all, or was that captured in the budget?
Please.
Through you, Reeve. It was not captured in the budget. We were hoping that CMO would allow us to commingle, and they will allow us to commingle, but at a significantly reduced cost to what we currently are providing. Currently, we only cover 8% of the cost, and they cover 92%. In order to, going forward, their proposal was to cover 30% of the costs and make us cover 60, which is not feasible. Or if we segregate, they'll do 100% of the cost. So no, it was not captured in the budget based on our current practice, which CMO decided to change.
Supplementary?
Yes, please. Thank you, Reeve. And then back to the separate bin. I understand that this new collection's for our downtown business sector, or business sectors in general. For others using the landfill facility that looks like potential business recycling, how is that going to be managed? Is that all? How do you determine the residential to a potential business?
Through you, Reeve. So all users at the landfill need to come across the scale. So if somebody was to say that they had recycling, we would have to ask, is it from a residence or is it from a business? And then direct them to a different location. My plan, if space allows, would be to have the segregated business depot closer to the hazardous waste depot. So during our busiest time of the year, we have someone nearby with the hazardous waste attendant to kind of keep an extra eye on that, particularly through the first year.
Another one, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It should be my last. And then are we going to be potentially asking resident or non-resident when it comes to this, the business side? Is there a way of cost recovery at all? I'm just curious for outside resident businesses that are outside of our landfill area but still using our landfill, because that's certainly a potential.
Ms. Springer?
Through you, Reeve, our landfill, including the recycling depot, would still only be limited to residents of the town of Renfrew or businesses of the town of Renfrew. In terms of cost recovery, if council so choose, they could put a service fee on the non-residential depot at the landfill, a small fee, to encourage people not to bring their material and use the curbside program. Not people, businesses, to use the curbside program, because that will reduce the processing fees that we have to pay.
Thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you. And next we'll move to the current tax report. That Committee of the Whole received the current tax balance report as information. Mover, please. Councillor Legree, second Councillor McWhirter. Discussion? We'll go to the Treasurer.
Thank you. Through you, Reeve. This is an update. It's the current property tax balances that are outstanding. And as we've made note of in this report, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs, they rank our level of outstanding property taxes at the end of each year, and that becomes part of the information in our FIR that we publish with the province. They categorize, if you're at a medium level, it's between 10 and 15%, or if you're 10% or below, they call that a low level. So looking at this report, we're currently at this time at 12.14%, and we're trending downwards towards year end, closer to that 10% low rating. The So at this time, the report, the tax outstanding is $2,251,801, and that is the 12%. I checked this afternoon. We're now closer to $2,187,400. So that's, as I said, trending down from the 12% down towards about 11.8%. And we're continuing to collect these, on an ongoing basis. Daily, we receive tax payments either online or from banks. We have pre-authorized payment plans, things like that, and people just generally collecting, or making payments for their outstanding tax balance at the front counter and things like that. We've made note in this report that there are 5 properties in tax arrears that make up $788,577 of the overall outstanding amount, which is about 35% of the total amount outstanding. We've attached another page that's the details breaking out the taxes that are outstanding. On the 2025 tax report, we've titled that. You can look and see that we started out with the full amount being billed, which happens after our final tax billing. So in July, we bill about $18 million. We proceed to collect in an ongoing basis payments of taxes based on due dates and based on payment plans. Our portion is about $10 million, and we work our way down overall from that original $18 million down to the $2.2 million we're at now, which subtotals to show us the 12.14% that's at a good level and that is heading down towards 2026, at which point, as of January 1st, as we've talked about in other meetings, anybody who has tax balance outstanding in the year of 2025 or the year of 24 then becomes technically in tax arrears, and then we proceed with the notices, clarifying to them the implications and obligations of that and all the tax process and collection process that could lead to tax sale eventually if they were to have a certificate registered on their property. So we've just given a report here of where we stand at the moment.
Thank you. Councillor McDonald, please.
Thank you. Through you, Reeve. Where are we year to year? Are we in is this the normal approach we have? Like you talked about trending down, but we only have 3 weeks to go to the end of the year. But I'm just wondering how we compare to over the last several years. Are we higher than normal with regard to outstanding taxes?
Please.
Thanks. It looks like we're a little bit higher. There's been a bit of a trend up after COVID. And during COVID, certain municipalities were doing less tax arrears collection. Generally speaking, in Ontario, there was a freeze at one point during COVID. But I think the key takeaway is it's a little higher because of those 5 main properties, but once we work through those, it should trend back down. And we're actively managing it now. So we should, I think if we're down around 10% at the end of the year, then that's an excellent measurement. And then going in through 2026, I suspect we'd be potentially even lower, probably in the 5 to 10% range by this time next year.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Reeve, through you. With regard to the 5 properties, we're at basically $790,000. You have fresh eyes coming in here with regard to what's been going on over the last several years. Are we on top of where we should be with regard to tax arrears, or is there a bit of a catch-up in tidying up some stuff over the last year or two?
Please.
So typically, once you hit that 2-year mark, you start to send information to the property owner, knowing that they're going on a path towards having that tax certificate registered, which then, once that happens, they have a year to pay the complete outstanding balance on their account to remove that tax certificate from title. There are those main properties. There are, I think, as we discussed before, there's more than 2 years outstanding on some of them for whatever circumstances led into that. So moving forward, once we deal with those, we would typically see it maintained around that 2-year mark. Yeah.
Yes, and if I could add, I become aware of them because as soon as those letters go out, then we get a call to ask if we can facilitate a meeting with the treasurer to work out payment plans. So I've received one of those, and we met with somebody, I guess, 3 weeks ago now. So, and I believe they're one of the 5 properties, or were?
Yeah, they're one of the significant balances that are right there
Yeah.
being managed to try to avoid a tax sale being advertised. And so we're in I think in a good position in that we're actively on top of managing those and getting those sorted out.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you. That the Committee of the Whole recommends that Renfrew Town Council adopt the amended Town of Renfrew Emergency Management Program and the Emergency Response Plan as presented. Mover? Councillor Legree, second by Councillor McWhirter. And Chief, please.
Thank you, and through you, Reeve, to all of Council. This is a brief report regarding the Emergency Management Plan. The Emergency Management Civil Protection Act mandates that every municipality shall have an emergency management program. The regulation further mandates that members of the Emergency Management Program Committee, as well as the Municipal Emergency Control Group, be appointed by Council. Since the last amendment in 2023, the town's organizational structure has changed, necessitating these changes. The attached bylaw includes an updated Emergency Management Program Committee terms of reference, which reflects the current organizational structure. I will also note that no operational changes have been made to the Emergency Response Plan. These were changes strictly clerical in nature. For example, the existing composition referenced the chair of the Fire Emergency and Protective Services, so this has been replaced with one member of Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, concerns from members of Council? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you. And that Committee of the Whole recommends that Renfrew Town Council approve the award of the purchase of a 938 wheel loader for Public Works to Tormont Cat at a cost of $464,839.68 after trade-in and including non-refundable HST. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Legree, second by Councillor McDonald. And Director Bishop, please.
Thank you, and through you, Reeve. So the replacement of our existing 2008 cat loader was identified in the approved 2025 capital budget. The group buying program Canoe was used for the procurement of the loader. We were able to work with various pre-vetted vendors to select the right type of equipment for our needs through Canoe. And we provided submission specifications to 3 vetted vendors and received submissions back from 2 vendors, Tormont Cat for a 938 wheel loader and a Brant Deere for a 624P wheel loader. Volvo was the 3rd vendor and did not provide a submission. So the options available are to award to Tormont Cat, which is recommended, and the second option is to award to Brant Deere. So for the Cat 938 wheel loader, it is very similar to the loader at the landfill, which has had no previous issues. This submission from CAT was ranked better in fleet uniformity, reputation of the supplier, adherence to specifications, and serviceability. The town is very satisfied with the service that CAT has provided in the past, most recently with the service on the landfill compactor. The price of the CAT loader is $481,800 with a trade-in value of $25,000 for our existing loader. Submissions for the 2 different models were very well done and comparable in terms of features and price. The scoring matrix was used, which factored in specifications, the reputation of the supplier, local serviceability and availability of parts, delivery time, warranty, uniformity with existing fleet, and cost. So as a result of the scoring, staff are recommending award to Tormont Cat with the purchase of a 938 wheel loader. I'm happy to take questions. Thank you.
Any comments, questions, concerns, Council? Councillor Sobalski.
Thank you, Reeve, and through you. So I have already reached out to Director Bishop. We've had a little bit of a conversation, but we'll do it here as well. I did do some research on the particular unit that's been proposed. It's a wonderful piece, and my comments to the director were that it's one of 3 models available. The 3 models that are available are the same size, same wheels, same bucket, same engine, same, but there's 3 different classification models with 3 different weights, which in my mind comes with 3 different prices. And I'm just curious if it's worth our efforts to go through one more run of this. We're over budget, and I'm questioning this due to the $50,000 over budget. I'm working so very hard with everyone else to manage a budget, and $50,000 goes a long way no matter which way we look at it, right? I'm curious if there's an appetite to see if any of these other loaders could be applicable to our usage, if they fit our usage, and if there is a potential savings for the town of Renfrew and one of these other loaders.
Okay, thank you. Director Bishop, any comments?
Yep, through you, Reeve. So I did speak to Kat, and I got some additional information based on my conversation with Councillor Spolsky. There are other models of Cat loaders that are suitable. Technically would be a downgrade from what we currently have. Our specifications from our procurement in Canoe were based on our current model as a minimum. So some of those models that are lower may meet the minimum, but the one that we got, the 938, may exceed that and perform better. There could be some implications to the operations if we do choose a lower model, but that being said, we also would have to go back through the process and tender or go through Canoe.
And Councillor Legree, please.
Through you, Revimo. I guess I have a question too, but I think this maybe should be pushed off till we get some more information. And I like Councillor Sobalski's idea. Let's look at the middle unit and see what the pricing comes back at and what the comparisons are between the top model and that. So I like that idea. Also, I just want to question, I know we had a little bit of a chat about this today too, but we have 2 dealerships in the town of Renfrew that sell loaders. One is John Deere, and I'm not sure what, JCB, yeah, thank you. And I'm not sure how the Canoe program works, and I'm okay if you can't answer this now, but I'm wondering if they would reach out to these 2 local dealerships that's right here in our community paying taxes and that, to give them the opportunity to bid. So I'm not sure how that works with Canoe, but I'd also like to research that. Thanks.
Okay, generally, my understanding of Canoe is that once they have established a price, it's usually with the regional or head office, kind of like a fleet program. That's the wrong descriptor, but it's similar. And then they, in turn, the head office or regional office reaches out to the local vendor, and it's purchased through the local vendor, because that then allows the local vendor to participate in repairs and parts. Is that how you understand it as well? Okay.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah.
perfect. That answers my question. So I'd like to see this pushed off till Director Bishop gets more information. Thanks.
Okay, just a quick question, and it might not be answerable. What does that mean in terms of our procurement policy? My impression is that we're refusing this tender and directing Director Bishop to go back out to retender on a different spec, is how I would understand it. But Councillor Sobalski and then Eric. Okay, Councillor Sobalski and then the CEO.
Would you like me first, or will we let...
Okay, we'll go.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with the director first.
Yes.
Thanks.
I'm wading in over my head here. Maybe the treasurer can save me. So when it comes to Canoe, it's not actually a tender. So we get a spec together. We send that out to Canoe, and then we get prices back through the vendors. So I don't think it has the same implications as if we cancel the tender. I believe we probably have the ability to do that as well if council didn't want to award. So if council would like to go out and explore other options, this just pushes it out. I think the earliest we could be back here would be the second week of January. So I guess maybe just to the director, I don't know if there are any operational implications. I don't know when delivery would be scheduled, these kinds of things, or if it's doable. Thank you.
Director, then Councillor Sobalski, and then Councillor Legree.
Through you, Reeve. So we did have delivery times given to us, and they range from a month to 2 months kind of thing. So if we do delay and get back here in January, then that just pushes that. But that being said, that's based on those two models. So if they had different models, they may have shorter delivery times if they had them on the lot, or I can't really answer that question right now, but at this time, operationally, we are still using our old loader. It's definitely not in great shape, but it is operational. So I think at this point, we wouldn't really be getting it in time to be operational this winter anyways. So a delay is not detrimental at this time.
Councillor Sobalski.
Thank you, Reeve. And if we're able to change things out, I'm going to speak for myself. I like seeing 3 prices. I know that that's what we went for. My recommendation would be to ask Tormount Cat or Canoe, for an updated price. We have one on the 938, but for the 930 and 926. And I would like a wholesome review from our staff on those 3 pieces once they've come in with costing, and if the equipment is up to the task. Maybe the 938 is the required piece. Maybe the 926 will meet our standards as well. So that would be my recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Legree.
Through you, Revimo. So Councillor Sobalski kind of said what I was going to say. I don't want to, we're talking about canceling it now. I want to see the 3 options with the pricing and the specs and stuff and compare. So, yeah.
Okay, so what I suggest is then we would have to vote on this motion, and should the motion be no, to not accept it, then I can come up with another motion, which then, oh, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. So it says, okay, so, all right.
Just on the budget impacts, so we are rolling into 2026. So in the event that we push this procurement to 2026, we would also need to ensure the budget committee includes this within the 2026 capital budget as well, if we're pushing this procurement.
No, it was included in 2025. So it would be a matter of, in theory, as my understanding of finances is you would take that, put that in a reserve, and then apply it in 2026. Is that a fair summation?
Through you, Chair. So for this particular capital asset, for your 2025 budget, when you look at your capital summary, it's in the unfunded column. So the recommendation here was to do internal financing. So if you wanted to specify it in the 2026 budget with another source of funding, you could do that. There's no reason you couldn't. But if you don't, you would still want to specify the source of funding, which here was basically recommended to be internally financed. The consideration there, I guess, is whether the next price comes in as competitive or not. With Canoe, hopefully it will, and or better. Just another quick point is usually in a tender you have like a clause in there that when the bidder submits that it says there's no implication to the cost that they incurred in preparing a tender if it's not awarded. So that's usually something that protects in a tendering. So It's usually in most tenders.
Okay, thank you. So what I can suggest then is it would make sense to table the motion that we were just talking about, and then I have another one that I could offer. So you'd make the motion to table?
Yes, I
Okay,
will
thank you.
motion to table this particular item.
Okay, and so too many procedural bylaws in my life, so.
Yeah, that's debatable, it's not.
Okay, so it's, yeah, it's not debatable and it's not voted on. Okay, so with that, just give me 1 second. I would suggest to you that Renfrew Town Council recommends the original motion to award the purchase of a 938-wheel loader for public works to Tormont Cat at a cost of $464,839.68 after trade-in and including non-refundable HST be withdrawn and the item be retendered with different specifications. So can I have a mover for that, please? Councillor Sobalski, second. Councillor Legree, questions? Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you very much. And I owe Manager Springer an apology. I went too quickly. I read the two recommendations together. And so I'd like to go back to item E2.5. And further, the council provides direction on a non-eligible recycling depot at the Renfrew landfill. So if we could have some direction on that, what would you like to do? So would you like it a refresher? Manager Springer, please.
Through you, Reeve. So yes, I was looking for direction on hosting a segregated depot for non-eligible sources at the landfill, or preventing non-eligible sources businesses from bringing recycling to the landfill altogether. Those were the options. Or negotiate with, or go out for different pricing, see if we can get better pricing. That was the third option, sorry.
Okay, so we don't have a motion prepared for that. We essentially need direction, which would then bring it back. Councillor Legree, please.
Through you, Emo, and can you just remind me, Manager Springer, like the pricing of the $25,000, that's with the company that's doing the pickup on the business sections of Main Street?
Through you, Reeve. So for $29,000, that is the estimate for Miller Waste to do the bins. So we would rent the bins, they would haul them, and they would charge us for the processing fees. They are the contractor that it will be picking up curbside, and also the contractor that will be doing the residential depot at the landfill.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Councillor Legree, and then Councillor McDonald. Okay, Councillor McDonald first.
Thank you, Reeve, to you. So we're dealing with E25 now, we're back to there, and I'm just looking at the synopsis of what we voted on, and that we gave direction towards a final agreement and bylaw to council for adoption. So are we not putting that forth to come back, or you want this adopted right now?
Manager Springer? Oh, clerk?
Through you, Reeve, if you actually read further down, there's and further that direction be provided to staff. So that's, I think, the section that just got missed. Yeah, so we're just looking for direction to determine what we're to do with the non-eligible sources at the Renfrew landfill. So options were provided in the report. I believe Manager Springer touched on them.
Okay, thank you. And then Councillor Sobalski.
Thank you. Through you, Reeve. Question, then maybe my suggestion. Question would be the amount proposed as an estimate, so that is a floating value pending on the amount of uptake in the bin at the landfill.
Through you, Reeve, yes, because we've always mixed it together. I don't exactly know how much it'll get used. So I proposed 3 8-yard bins and have those tipped, 2 for fiber tipped weekly and 1 for commingled tipped bi-weekly.
Supplementary?
Yeah, I suppose if there's no more questions, I'll put something on the, that I'm in agreement with option 1 of putting the bin as proposed as an estimate from Manager Springer.
Okay, and are you planning on seconding, Councillor Legree? Second, okay. And we'll just take a second to put some wording together.
So that that Committee of the Whole recommends that Renfrew Town Council direct staff to proceed with option 1, which is to enter into agreement with Miller's Waste System for the rental of bins and hauling of recycling material in an estimate amount of $29,000 for 2026, with financing to be determined through the 2026 budget process.
Does that resemble what you thought you were making?
Reeve, I said that word for word, so that would be the motion.
Pardon me?
That was word for word, so yes,
Okay,
that would
thank
be
you.
the motion.
And the seconder feels comfortable as well? All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? None, it's carried. Thank you. And now we'll move to E.7.1, and Mr. Withers, please.
Thank you, through you, Reeve. So this is just a summary of lunch and learns that staff at the town have been hosting over the course of the year. Can say that there have been several staff that have attended these sessions, and I've attended a few, found them to be informative and useful in many cases. And this is just something that we're doing in order to try to just encourage staff to sharpen the sword, so to speak, learn things maybe that they didn't previously, be refreshed on things that they might have known before, and kind of pick up on some best practices and current affairs in the municipal management and administration realm. So moving forward, we do anticipate to continue to hold some format of lunch and learns into 2026. We will exactly what we are going to be doing at those lunch and learns is to be determined, but I think there's been enough value in those sessions that will likely continue in some format in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. I neglected to get a mover and seconder, so could I have a mover for that motion, please, that the Committee of the Whole receive the 2025 Lunch and Learn Training Summary as information? Councillor Legree, second by Councillor Sobalski. And are there any questions? All those in favor? Opposed? None is carried. Thank you very much. And next, motion that Renfrew Town Council rise from the Committee of the Whole. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor McWhirter. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? None is carried. Thank you, Council. Okay, and next we'll move to report the external boards, committees, and county reports. I'm not going to dive into the report card. It's 133 pages, or sorry, 33 pages. What I can say to you, though, is it's something that I'd asked for about 10 years ago, and it's slowly been refined to this product. And what it does is it also ties back to the CAO's goals and objectives, and at the same time to the strategic plan and to the asset management plan. So those are 4 pillars that support it, and it's a measurement. I wanted a measurement similar to having the report on the asset management plan every year, just so we know where we are. So it's a means of measuring things. So if there's any specific questions, I'd try to answer them. But you can see lots of highlights in the report. 15 corporate policies through HR were reviewed and renewed. It's just that kind of an in-depth look at it. And then also, I think if you take a look at the IT, where it talks about how many servers and how many service calls and how many pieces of equipment they use, and I don't think, no, they didn't talk about viruses or attacks. But I can tell you that with everything else, it's fairly high. Provincial offenses, and then community services with the new Heart Hub and substance abuse programs. And I'm most proud of the 261 child care spaces that we got allocated. It took 18 months to get those, which I think is a bit of a record, but in a good way. Anyway, I'll leave you to that. And next is the green municipal fund. It was just to bring it to your attention. It may be a significant or a funding source for us as we move forward in replacing some of the canopy in the future. Anyway, I just wanted to let you have a look at it, put it in the back of your mind, and I already shared it with Ms. Springer and Acting CAO Withers. Renfrew District Health Unit, I'm not going to go through that. The South Ottawa Valley OPP Detachment Board, you see their budget present. I did note, and I believe that the staff are on it, as is Councillor Legree, that they're a little short on getting minutes out to us on a regular basis, and I believe they're working to rectify that. So it's kind of a growing pains thing, so I don't know if anybody's noticed anything else that they wanted to bring up. Okay, and next we'll move to the Renfrew Power Generation. And I do have a motion that Renfrew Town Council received the correspondence from the Renfrew Power Generation Board dated November 10, 2025 as information, and further that the town clerk be directed to provide written confirmation to Renfrew Power Generation Inc., RPG, that the town of Renfrew, as the sole shareholder of the corporation, has no intention of demanding payment of the promissory note in 2026. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Legree, second. Councillor Sobolski. And discussion. So I think just as a limited background for some of our viewers and listeners, Renfrew Power Generation and Renfrew Hydro were created in about the year 2000 when the Ontario government of the day indicated that one entity could not own the power generation and the lines that transferred the power to the customer. So these two companies were set up. Renfrew, the town of Renfrew owns 100% of both of them, and we have members sitting on their boards. They're separate boards, and there are annual financial statements which we see. We also see quarterly reports from each of the bodies. You'll see them on our agenda periodically. We feel that both are well-run, small corporations dealing with a number of complex issues as best they can. We dealt with the Renfrew Hydro Inc. note, promissory note, I guess about a year ago, where we called the note and they received alternative financing, so that's no longer an issue to monitor. Renfrew Power Generation, we asked how their feelings. We asked the board for a recommendation, and their recommendation has been no, they don't want the note called, first of all, and secondly, they're not able to increase the annual dividend that they pay us as well. And I'll ask Councillor Legree, as a member of the board, did I miss anything?
Through you, review. No, I think you got everything, so, yeah.
Okay. And we do know, we are sympathetic as well because they are facing a new rate, purchase rate for the power that's generated that's not fair, and we've been part of their lobbying efforts to change that. So we recognize that as well. We don't believe that there's added stress needed for the board nor the corporation. So with that, if there are no further questions or comments, I'm sorry, Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Reeve, to you as you were talking. Do we have any timelines with regard to potentially finalizing the issues of finance? Whether you or the Councillor Legree is aware of it?
Through you, Reeve. So, no, there's not. We don't have a date or anything like that. We're still working with the Ontario government to try to finalize that. So the contract we have now ends at the end of 2029. So we're good up until then. January 1st, 2030 is when the contract, the small hydro program contract changes, and that's where we lose the difference. So we are still working on it, and as of today, we got 3 or 4 emails on it, kind of going back and forth. Boulder Valley Township and Mississippi Mills are also, the 3 of us are kind of working together as a team to try to get this going. But yeah, we're moving ahead, but very slowly. So.
Very slowly. And that's not sarcasm, it's just an observation, believe me. Painfully slow some days. With that, are there any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you, Council. And next we'll move to H, which is correspondence items for information. H1, municipal correspondence to the City of Brantford. Seeing none. H2, Town of Laurentian Hills regarding the development of Canadian CANDU reactors. Could I suggest to Council they might consider a motion on that, given that we likely have a significant number of people living in our community that work for Chalk River Labs. And what I did was took the liberty of drawing up a motion that Renfrew Town Council endorse, because I recognize how sympathetic Council might be to them, the resolution from Deep River regarding the development of Canadian-designed CANDU reactors, associated medical isotopes, and small modular reactors. Can I get a mover? Councillor Legree?
I would move that.
Thank you. And seconder? Councillor McDonald. And discussion. Chalk River Labs, as you're aware, no doubt has been in Chalk River since about 1954, I believe, maybe a little earlier, probably 1947, and a significant generator of revenue for a number of businesses across the county of Renfrew and into Eastern Ontario. I believe the number for their payroll, 3,000 people, is probably $300 million a year. We're very close to it, and their purchasing is probably the same. I know that the federal government has promised $1.5 billion in 2026, and then $1 billion for 9 more years after that. They're in the process, I think I sent you the email the other day, the information email. They're in the process of changing from one contractor over to another one who won the bid to manage for the next 10 years. So there is a substantial amount of money being invested. All those in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you. And then next is the municipal correspondence to the town of Parry Sound regarding the removal of HST. And again, I took the liberty of preparing something that Renfrew Town Council endorsed the town of Bradford West Wilbury's call on the Government of Canada to remove the GST, HST from all new homes purchased as primary residences and to work in partnership with the Government of Ontario to ensure full elimination of the provincial portion as well. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor McWhirter. And discussion? Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Reeve, and I'm glad we're moving ahead with this. And just within the narrative itself, they gave an example of a $900,000 home. For 13%, that's talking $117,000. So I think it's worthy that we're moving ahead with this.
Thank you. And as a sadistic policy person, this is also another good indicator to the provincial government that we are, as a municipal government, ready to cooperate with all three levels to work on the housing issue, and that's what their demand is show us what you've done. So we have a number of things that we've done. This is just the last thing that we've done would be this. We've also, as you know, entered into the MOU with the County of Renfrew with regards to 450, is it 450 O'Brien? 450 O'Brien, I can't remember the address. And then also the work on Francis Street on the 3-for-1 conversion, and then also with the Generations project, the 40 units that potentially could go to Buncher Manor. So again, it's just one more step towards convincing the government of how serious we are. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? None? It's carried. Thank you very much. And next, I would move to the minutes. That Renfrew Town Council confirm the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on November 25, 2025, the special meetings of council held on November 25 and December 2nd, 2025, and the closed meeting minutes of November 25, 2025, understanding that they remain confidential. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor McWhirter, second by Councillor Cebulski. And then discussion. Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you, Council. And next, what I would suggest to you is that we would take, these are matters arising from Committee of the Whole, and I would suggest we remove items number 3 and 5 and have the acting CAO review those on our behalf. Okay, so that Renfrew Town Council adopt the final resolutions considered in Committee of the Whole on November 25. Number 1, that Renfrew Town Council accept the addendum to the Youth Gymnastics A Memorandum of Understanding. 2, that Committee of the Whole recommends that Renfrew Town Council direct the acting mayor and town clerk to sign the revised municipal and First Nations automotive materials service amending agreement. And what used to be number 4 will become number 3. The Renfrew Town Council adopt the proposed policy review schedule for the years 2026 through to 2030, and further the council ratify the 2026 policies for review schedule. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Legree, second by Councillor McDonald. So number 4, you'll see we didn't pull that out. The acting CEO had a look at it and felt that it was okay to proceed with it. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? None? It's carried. Thank you. And then matters arising directly from Committee of the Whole. That Renfrew Town Council, my apologies. The Renfrew Town Council adopt the final resolutions considered in Committee of the Whole on December 9, 2025. The Renfrew Town Council approved the Renfrew Hydro, Renfrew Power Generation, and Town of Renfrew Wastewater Treatment Plant land transfers, and authorized staff to execute all documentation and actions required to give effect to the transfers, and further that any required bylaw be brought forward to Council for adoption. That Renfrew Town Council enter into an agreement in principle with Miller Waste Systems for the curbside collection of non-eligible source recycling collection, and that staff be directed to bring forward the final agreement and bylaw to Council for adoption, and further that Council provide direction on a non-eligible recycling depot at the Renfrew landfill. and that Renfrew Town Council adopt the amended Town of Renfrew Emergency Management Plan and the Emergency Response Plan as presented. The Renfrew, no, sorry, we didn't pass that one. Pardon me? The new motion?
Do you want me to do it?
Sure, if you don't mind, please.
Sorry, through you, Reeve. So for E.5.1, through deliberation, council had changed it so that Renfrew Town Council recommends that the original motion to award the purchase of a 938 wheel loader for Public Works to Tormont Cat at a cost of $464,839.68 after trade-in and including non-refundable HST be withdrawn, and that the item be re-tendered with different specifications.
Okay, and do we have a mover on that, all of that? I'm looking for a mover, right? Can I, yes, thank you. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Legree, second by Councillor Recorder. My apologies, I got lost in the middle there. Got all upset and worried about the last one. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed, none, it's carried. Thank you. Okay, bylaws. That the bylaws listed on the agenda of December 9, 2025 be read a first, second, and third time and passed. 109-2025 to appoint an acting CAO, which is Mr. Withers. 110-2025, the CIP grant to 142 Raglan Street South. 111-2025, execute an amending automotive material services agreement with AMS. 112-2025, recreation services agreement with Township of Greater Madawaska. 113-2025, emergency management program and emergency response plan. 114-2025, recreation services agreement with Township of McNabb-Braeside. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor McWhirter, second by Councillor Cebulski. If you wish, anybody wishes, we could pull any one of these individually and vote on them instead of voting as a whole. Okay, not seeing that. Is any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you, Council. And now we will move to notices which have previously been given. Motion of which notice has previously been given. The Renfrew Town Council provide formal correspondence to the Government of Ontario, specifically the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, regarding a comprehensive review and modernization of the legislative framework governing municipal codes of conduct and the role, authority, and processes of integrity commissioners. And I believe Councillor McDonald, you want to move that? And is there a seconder? Councillor Legree, and I believe Councillor McDonald, you'd like to speak to it?
Thank you, Reeve. It stands for itself, but I just noticed at the very bottom where we asked that further that the mayor, if we can change that to acting mayor, perhaps to expedite things, at the very bottom of the narrative.
Sure. I think that's a friendly amendment. Okay. I didn't see it on the written copy. And is it on the electronic one?
Through Reeve, yeah, the original motion does not, I think that's in the justification report that you had attached.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
So that's not.
So you'd like, okay, so you'd like to add that to the motion, or it's just all right because it's attached to the report?
Through Reeve, I think the original motion, as it stands on the agenda right now, is just to provide
Perfect.
the formal correspondence, and whoever is in the chair to do that.
Okay. Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you. And now we'll move to notice of motion, verbal. Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Reeve. I have two of them. And for the clerk's information, I've emailed them to you for your ease for later on. The first one is that council directs staff to investigate options for establishing a formal mechanism, such as a designated budget line, reserve, or reimbursement framework that would allow councillors to access municipal funds for legal advice or representation when they are subject of an integrity commissioner investigation, provided the matter relates to the councillor's official duties. So that's number one.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a seconder? Oh, you don't need that.
No.
Sorry. My apologies.
I do have a second one, though.
Yes,
So
second
go
one.
ahead
Yes,
with
you
that.
do.
Thank you.
Please.
Number two, the council directs staff to obtain a legal opinion from a municipal governance lawyer specialist that's not affiliated with the town of Renfrew to review the proceedings of the special council meeting of December 2nd, 2025, specifically determine whether section 4-11 of the town of Renfrew's procedural bylaw and the applicable provisions of Robertson's Rules of Orders were properly followed, and whether any relevant procedural requirements were breached, and that the legal opinion be brought back to council for this consideration. And thank you, Reeve, for having an open discussion with me earlier today. I really appreciate that.
Sure. Thank you. Okay, next we'll move to closed session. There is none. And then confirmatory bylaw. That Renfrew Town Council adopt the confirmatory bylaw 115-2025 and then be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Legree, second by Councillor McWhirter. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? None. It's carried. Thank you. Upcoming meetings of council and committee. We have a special closed meeting of council December 16th, and we're just working on the time, so that we'll send out a note soon just to get a sense of everybody's time on the 16th. We have a special meeting of council on December 16th at 5:30, and then a budget committee meeting December 16th at 6. And then our next regular council meeting will be January 13th, 2026 at 5:30, and our Economic Development Advisory Committee meeting would be January 13, 2025 at 10 a.m. Let's see. Yes, sir. What did I forget?
Through you, Reeve, did we do announcements at the front, or was it me?
No, we didn't.
I just have one quick thing I want to say, if I can.
Yeah, please go right ahead.
As we move into your last 14 hours as Renfrew County Warden, I just want to kind of thank you for the last few years for the dedication, the time, and effort you put in to the county to make it a better place for the residents and visitors. So, and wish both Mayor Murphy and Donahue good luck tomorrow. Thanks.
Thank you. I had forgotten to make note. Since our last council meeting, we've truly kicked off the holiday season here in Renfrew. Light Up the Square was held 2 weekends ago, where we lit the tree in Low Square and officially launched the festive season. Thank you to the BIA for organizing such a wonderful event, and to everyone who came out to celebrate. This past Saturday was the Town of Renfrew's Santa Claus Parade, and we want to extend our appreciation to everyone who entered a float. It was truly a spectacular event. It was one of our best parades yet, and busiest post-parade event at the Legion for the photos with Santa, the goodie bags, and crafts. Thank you to all the families who attended, and to all the businesses and organizations who put so much time into decorating their floats. A special thank you to Janine Fraser and the community programs team, and our many volunteers for their incredible work in bringing it all together. It was quite cold, and they were all bundled up and quite cheerful. So we have to shout out to them how thankful we are that they showed up and put their efforts into the parade. On December 5th, we observed the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women with a vigil at Low Square. It was an important opportunity to honor, reflect, and recommit ourselves to building a future free from gender-based violence. The winter program guide for December, January, and February is now available, featuring a wide range of events and programs for residents of all ages. We encourage you to take a look at what's coming up that you or your family may enjoy. Hard copies are available at the customer service desk at the MyFM Center, and the guide can also be viewed online at renfrew.ca. Upcoming events: Früh Year's Eve returns this year on New Year's Eve from 8:30 to 12 at the MyFM Center. Bring the kids out for a fun-filled morning that includes breakfast, a magician, showtime, pizza, and of course, the special kids countdown to noon, midnight. And just very quickly, I'd like to thank you for your patience. I know that accommodating my schedule sometimes as warden was challenging, and you're all so very supportive of that, council and staff. I certainly appreciate that. And also in ensuring that I was kept up to date on things. If I was a little slow on my emails, it prompted how important it was to take a look at one. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'll certainly miss it. But I had given my word to at least one of the people who was running that I, would stand aside. I believe that if you have someone that's better than you are or could provide different skills, then you should allow them the opportunity to shine on the stage. And so, again, my heartfelt thank you to you for your support, your advice, and your tolerance sometimes when I was blathering on about county stuff and would go on a little longer than I should, so I certainly appreciate that. So with that, we're adjourned at 7:01 p.m. Thank you.